Okay, let's get started. Welcome to today's webinar, The Three Secrets of How to Escape the 40-Year Plan, or another way of putting it, the 40-Year Trap. First off, let me take this opportunity to express my utmost admiration for you because you took the time out of your busy day to attend today's webinar. Now, this webinar is for you if you're behind in your retirement savings and you're struggling to get caught up and you're wondering if you're going to have enough savings to get you through. Or you're at an early stage in your life and you want to retire young and you do not necessarily want to wait till you're 65 years old to start enjoying financial freedom. You have a vision for your life that is beyond just struggling from paycheck to paycheck. And you want to start a legacy of wealth for you and your family. Now, if any of these things apply to you, then this webinar is for you. Let me give you 3 reasons why you should pay close attention to this webinar. Reason number one, I became a multi-millionaire by using the same blueprint that I'm about to share with you during this presentation. Reason number two, I have mentored others to become millionaires by using the same blueprint that I'm about to share. And reason number three, I have changed the lives of literally hundreds of people throughout my mentoring career. For example, I'd like you to meet one of my closest friends. His name is Jamie. I have mentored Jamie from the very beginning of his journey in aviation. And when I first met him, he would be the first to tell you that he made some mistakes early in his life. And some of those mistakes were turning into obstacles that were threatening his journey. Now, I can see leadership qualities in Jamie early on, so I gave him this challenge. I said, Jamie, I can make you a millionaire if you can do one thing, and that is if you can listen and if you can follow a blueprint. Now, today, guys, Jamie is one of the most well respected pilots in the entire airline industry. And yes, he did become a millionaire by following the blueprint. And so, with that in mind, I'm going to issue you the same challenge. And that is the blueprint that I'm about to share with you during this presentation can make you a millionaire if you can do this one thing, and that is listen and follow a blueprint. Does that make sense, guys? I am super excited about this, and I just can't wait to get started. But first, let me just tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Joel Gudger. I'm a pilot for United Airlines, and I fly Boeing 777 aircraft all over the world. In addition to my passion for flying airplanes, I have a passion for mentoring people to reach their dreams in aviation and beyond. I am honored to say, because of the success that we've enjoyed over the years, I was awarded the Distinguished Service Award by the Organization of Black Aerospace Workers. However, even with all of our successes, we've had our heartbreaks as well. You see, I found that the single biggest obstacles that minority pilots face in becoming pilots is a lack of financial resources to fund their training and their education. In other words, we suffer from an historical wealth gap, which causes an opportunity gap. And I discovered that you can see this opportunity gap as early as elementary school. I remember speaking at elementary schools on career days and looking around the classroom and seeing that they did not have any did not have any computers. They had third hand, fourth hand, hand-me-down books. I've seen roofs leaking. It was apparent to me that the schools were being neglected and the children were being neglected. Now, don't get me wrong, the teachers were fantastic and they went above and beyond to try to provide the school children the very best education they could, given the hand that they were dealt. However, even with that being said, I've seen dreams crushed right there in those neglected schools. And for those who did dare to dream, I would see their dreams crushed later on because they lacked the financial resources. And guys, let me tell you, there are very few things in life as heartbreaking as crushed dreams. I found myself being in a position of being like a cheerleader saying, hey, don't give up, keep going. I know it's tough, but keep going. Unfortunately, guys, like I said before, I've seen people just lose their dream simply because they did not have the resources. But I wanted to provide the people that I mentor something more tangible than mere heartfelt words of encouragement. Now, right around this same time, United Airlines filed for bankruptcy protection. And when they filed for bankruptcy, they eliminated our pensions. And that meant that my retirement was now completely on me. The problem is, because I was depending on my employer for my retirement, I was far behind in my retirement savings. And I lacked the knowledge and I didn't have a plan. Now, I tried going to a financial planner, but I did not know who I can trust. And the reason why is I could not verify the quality of the advice that I was receiving. I remember one time going to a financial planner, and he reached in his desk and he pulled out a mutual fund, and he said, "This mutual fund is so good that I use it for my own personal retirement." And you know what, guys? He was right. That mutual fund was a great mutual fund for his retirement. But the problem is, it would have been a horrible mutual fund for my retirement. And here's why. That mutual fund had a hidden sales fee that I would have to pay every time I invested, month after month after month. And guess where that fee was going? Directly into his bank account. And so I would have lost tens of thousands of dollars over the years going into his bank account. I would have lost that much money over the years had I took his advice. Now the problem is I couldn't trust myself because I did not have the knowledge on how to build wealth. I was never taught that in school. I was taught a lot of things, but I was never taught how to build wealth. And so that lack of knowledge led to fear. And that fear caused me to freeze and do nothing. And doing nothing, guys, is one of the most dangerous things you can possibly do for two reasons. Number one, this thing called inflation just eats you alive. Now we're going to talk about that here in just a few minutes. But also, I lost tens of thousands of dollars of potential profits just by sitting on the sidelines. So I had two frustrations. I had the frustration of seeing dreams crushed because of the opportunity gap. And I had my own frustration of not having a plan for my financial future. Now I realized if we were going to solve the opportunity gap, we must first eliminate the wealth gap. So this inspired me to go back to school. I studied everything that I can get my hands on pertaining to personal wealth. I attended seminars and workshops, paid thousands of dollars for that. I took the same courses and I got the same certification as financial planners who specialize in putting together investment portfolios. Here's a screenshot of my certified fund specialist certificate that I received from the Institute of Business and Finance. Now, I did this not because I wanted to become a financial planner, but I did this because I wanted to get that sneak peek behind the curtain of how to build personal wealth. I then created a simple program designed specifically with our community in mind. I then put this program to the test for myself. And I realized that the information I learned during this, taking all these seminars and webinar seminars and workshops, and taking the financial planning course, the information enabled me to become a multi-millionaire by using the same program that I put together. It's also given me the absolute assurance that the strategies in the program will work for those that I choose to mentor. In fact, the strategies in the program will work even better for those I choose to mentor because I will be sharing my mistakes as well as my successes. And this is what mentorship is all about. This is why it's so powerful because it enables the people that you mentor to capitalize on my successes and avoid my mistakes. And this enables them to achieve their dreams in a fraction of the time. And that's what this webinar is about. I am seeking a few go-getters that are willing to learn and that I can mentor to success. And so with that being said, let me share my personal vision statement with you. It is my vision that every man, woman, and child in our community will have both the knowledge and the means to escape the burdens of debt and to build a bright, financially secure future. Our children will have a financial head start in life that is so great that no dream will be beyond their reach. Now, I realize that if I'm going to reach my vision, I need partners to help me get the word out about this program. And in order to enlist partners, I need to present a strong win-win incentive that will be a blessing to all who are involved. Does that make sense, guys? And so if you stay into the end of this webinar, I'm not only going to share my blueprint with you, but I'm going to give you the details of a very lucrative profit sharing program that will give you the means to put the blueprint into action. You see, it's one thing to have the knowledge. That's great. We have to have the knowledge. But if we have the knowledge, but we don't have the means, we don't have the money to put that knowledge to work, then it doesn't do us much good. Does that make sense? And so I wanted to provide the knowledge and the means. And so that's what this profit sharing program is all about. It's going to give you the means to pay off your credit card debt or student loans. It's going to give you the means to make ends meet if you're struggling to make ends meet. And more importantly, it's going to give you the means to invest for your financial freedom so that if you're behind in your retirement savings, you can get caught back up. Or if you want to retire early in life, it's going to give you the means to invest so that you can retire early in life. Does that make sense, guys? So stay until the end. I think you're going to be very, very happy with what I'm going to share with you in the end. So with that being said, let's get started. In this webinar, we're going to cover the 3 secrets of escaping the 40-year plan, or like I say, the 40-year trap, and retiring young and retiring rich. But before we can do that, we have to ask ourselves, what is the 40-year plan? And that is, we've learned the 40-year plan from the time we were in elementary school, from the time we were in middle school and high school, all the way up until today. And that is, we're taught to go to school, get our education, get that job, work for 40 plus years, and retire and when you're 65 and get that pension and get the gold watch. Does that sound familiar, guys? That's something we've been taught our entire lives. But here's the problem. The 40-year plan just doesn't work. Why? For one reason, pensions are going extinct. I remember one time my CEO of my airline had a town hall meeting. And during that meeting, he explained how United Airlines is reaching a point where there are going to be more employees who are retired and who are drawing a pension from United Airlines than there were employees who are actually working and drawing a paycheck. And so he was saying that this is unsustainable. They can't pay thousands and thousands of people who are no longer producing for the airline. Now, when I heard that, I thought to myself, what a jerk. What a jerk. I mean, we worked hard for these pensions. We earned these pensions. We paid for these pensions throughout the negotiation process. And if they were to cancel our pensions, that would be so unfair because we earned them. But you know what I found out, guys? It's not always about what's fair. And so pensions are going to stink because companies are getting to a position where they're no longer willing or able to pay pensions to people who are no longer working for the airline. And that's in the private sector as well as the public sector. Another reason the 40-year plan doesn't work is this thing called life. Things come up in life. So now we're forced to invest for our own pension, right? But things come up, medical bills, some kind of unexpected repair, or we move into another house, or just things in life happen. And you say to yourself, you know what, I'm going to invest later on when I get a pay raise, right? And then what happens? You fall behind and you fall farther and farther behind. And that day it never comes to start investing for your future. Or if it does come, it comes far too late. And then you're struggling to get caught back up. And here's the problem, guys, with getting caught up. There are only 24 hours in a day. So let's say you say, okay, I realize I'm behind. I need to get caught up. So I'm going to work some extra hours. I'm going to work overtime, or I'm going to pick up a second job or something like that. But that can only go so far because they're only 24 hours a day. And you still need to eat. You still need to sleep. You still have to spend time with your family. And so it's really, really difficult to do that because there's just not enough hours in the day. Here's another reason it doesn't work. You have a 50-50 partner named Uncle Sam. So even if you were if you were to go out and get that second job or work overtime, a large chunk of that money is going to go to the government in the form of taxes. And so you still are not getting caught up. You ever heard that expression, the rat race? That's kind of what they're talking about. I'm in the rat race, I'm behind, and I can't get caught up. So in this webinar, we're going to cover the three secrets of the 40-year plan, retiring young and retiring rich. Secret number one, you can escape the 40-year plan or the 40-year trap and join the elite 3% who are achieving millionaire status if you can harness the magic of compound interest. Secret number two, you can accelerate your wealth so that you can reach financial freedom at an earlier age, or you can get caught up if you're behind if you can harness the power of safe leverage. Secret number three, you can escape the 40-year trap and join the elite 3% who are achieving millionaire status if you have the right vehicle. Now, I promise that the blueprint that I'm about to share with you is very, very simple. But don't let the simplicity fool you, because even though it's simple to follow through and it's very, very simple to understand, this blueprint is proven effective time and time again. Now, the simplest and most efficient way to share this blueprint with you is to give you the principles and the concepts first, and then give you the specifics, tongue twister, specific strategies. Does that make sense, guys? All right, great. So secret number one, you can escape the 40-year trap and join the elite 3% who are achieving millionaire status if you can harness the magic of compound interest. Now, there was a article dated October 15th, 1991 in the New York Times. It was an article about a UPS worker. His name was Theodore Johnson. And the reason they wrote this article about him is because he donated a fortune to education and scholarships. And get this, guys, he never made more than $14,000 a year his entire time that he worked at UPS. Now, I got to give you a little bit of a disclaimer. I did some research on this, and I found out that he worked for UPS, I believe it was the 40s, 50s, and I think he retired, if memory serves, he retired like in the 60s. And so when you account for that inflation, when he was working for UPS, $14,000 may sound like a super low salary today. In today's dollars, but back when Theodore Johnson was working, $14,000 was a solid middle class income. And so I don't want to give you the impression that he was working on poverty wages. He wasn't. He had a solid middle class income. But having said that, he achieved a fortune of $70 million. Isn't that amazing, guys? $70 million, and he never made more than $14,000 a year. So how did he do it? He did it by harnessing and maximizing the magic of compound interest to work in his favor. Here's another guy. You may recognize him. His name is Warren Buffett. And like Theodore Johnson, Warren Buffett was raised in a middle-class household. And he was able to amass a fortune at one point of $109 billion. Now, believe me, guys, when Warren Buffett speaks, people listen. So would you like to know where he attributed his tremendous wealth to? Here you go. He said, my wealth comes from a combination of living in America, some lucky genes. And when he says lucky genes, guy, what he means is he was able to live a long life. he had that longevity. I think right now, I believe he's either in his late 80s or early 90s right now. That's what he means by lucky genes. But get this, guys. He said, my wealth comes from compound interest. Compound interest. That's the secret to his wealth. If you were to Google compound interest, you would discover that it's frequently referred to as the magic of compound interest, or the miracle of compound interest, or the enormous power of compound interest. That's normally how it's worded when you hear about compound interest, the magic of compound interest. And the reason I say that is because compound interest is the great wealth building equalizer, because it can make you fabulously wealthy even if you don't have a large income. So rather than give you a technical definition of compound interest, I thought it would be better to give you a demonstration of the magic of compound interest. Does that sound good, guys? So get this. You can start a legacy of wealth by giving your child a gift of $10 million with just $1.67 per day with the magic of compound interest. Isn't that amazing? $10 million for $1.67 a day with the magic compound interest. So let's see how this works. Let's say when your child is first born, you put aside $50 per month, which is about $1.67 per day, at a compounded rate of return of 12%. Now, don't worry about how you get the 12%, guys. I'm going to explain that here in just a few minutes. So don't worry about that. But he was able to put aside, you're able to put aside that money at 12%. So when your child turns 18, that fund will have grown to $42,698. Now let's say that you let the fund continue to compound on its own at 12%. In other words, you're no longer investing in that fund. You're letting it compound all by itself, right? So it will grow to over $10 million when he or she retires. Isn't that amazing? When I saw that, guys, I was completely blown away. And here's how I discovered that. Here's a compound interest calculator. And if you notice, here's the principal amount, $42,698, when your child turns 18. On this particular calculator, you got to break it down from years to months. So it's 564 months. I believe it's 40 plus years. It's over 40 years. I think it was 42, if I recall, maybe 45 years for the amount of months. And here's the interest rate of 12%. And get this, guy, when your child turns 65, that fund will have grown to $10,213,130.18. Now, guys, when I saw that, even though I saw that, I had to put that number in there multiple times because I couldn't believe it. It just seems so amazing that that can be true. But then I discovered something called the rule of 72. Now, here's how it works. If you divide 72 by your compounded rate of return, it tells you how long it would take for your money to double. So in this case, if you divide 72 by 12, your money would double every 6 years. So I put together a chart so you can actually see this, how this works. So let's say, again, your child is 18 years old and it's $42,000. 6 years later, that money would double. So when your child is 24 years old, it doubled up to $85,000. 6 years later, it doubles again. So when your child is 30 years old, it doubled to $170,000. 6 years after that, it doubles again, and now it's $341,000. Now, bear in mind, guys, I want to point out that this is assuming that you are not making any more payments. It's growing all by itself. And this is assuming that your child is not doing any investing. Now, we're going to encourage our children to invest on their own from a very early age. Now, notice this. By the time your child turns 48, he or she is now a millionaire. And the best way to describe compound interest, I call it the magic seed. It's like you're planting this magic seed into the ground, you're nurturing it, you're letting it grow, and it grows into a money tree. This behaves exactly like a money tree. Now notice, 54 years old, 2.7 million dollars. Now this is what we call the magic of compounding. This is when you're at the magic. Notice what happens from here on out. It is going up. Your child's money is going up by almost $1 million a year. When you're 6 years old, it's 5.4 million. 61, 6.4 million. 62, 7.2 million. 63, 8.1 million until your child is 65 and it's $10.3 million. Isn't that amazing, guys? You know what this means? This means that we can end the wealth gap in one generation, and it's completely within our control. It's completely within our power. It doesn't matter who's in the Congress. It doesn't matter who's in the White House. You don't have to be an athlete. You don't have to be an entertainer. You can do this with $50 per month, $1.67 per day, with the magic of compound interest. Isn't that amazing, guys? And again, I want to point out once again, this is assuming that you're not making any other payments, and this is assuming that your child is not making any other investments as well. And guys, this will blow you away. If they were to let this money alone for another 6 years, it would double from 10 million to $20 million. You know what they call this, guys? They call this generational wealth. We can end the wealth gap and start generational wealth in one generation. Isn't that amazing? That blows me away. I got to tell you, that really blows me away. Now, some of you may be saying, yeah, Joel, that sounds well and good, but I don't want to have to wait until I'm 60 years old or 65. I don't want to have to wait all that time. Well, guys, keep paying attention because I'm going to show you in just a few minutes how you can greatly accelerate the compounding process so that you can get to the magic much, much sooner. So just keep paying attention. I just want to give you a demonstration of the magic of compound interest. So this is why he said, my wealth comes from a combination living in America, lucky genes, and compound interest. Does that make sense, guys? Are you guys getting this? This is so important, so powerful. Have you ever heard the expression old money, where people, they inherit a bunch of money from their families, in their fabulously wealthy families? Well, guys, you now know the secret of how this occurs. A generational wealth, compound interest, passing on from generation to generation. All right. If you harness the magic of compound interest, it would change your life and your family's life forever. Now, there are 3 keys to planting that magic seed. The first key, you must escape the debt trap. Albert Einstein once said, compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it, and he who doesn't pays it. So what does he mean by that? So there are basically 2 types of models that we run our households on. The first model I call the poverty model. And the way that works is, here's your household here, and money is coming into your household from your job. So you have money coming to your household from your job, but now you got the bill collectors and the debt collectors taking that money out the back door, right? And if you notice, these guys are smiling and laughing because what they're doing is they're taking your magic seed that you worked so hard for, they're taking that magic seed and they're running off and they planting that magic seed in their garden, making them rich. And on top of that, you have this thing called inflation. And that money, if you're not investing, then inflation is actually reducing your wealth day by day, month by month, year by year. So I call this the poverty model because if you're on this model, eventually it's going to lead you into poverty. And it doesn't matter if you make minimum wage or $1 million per year. If you're on this model, you will eventually end up in poverty. Why? Because the job is going to eventually go away. And then you're just left with the bill collectors, the debt collectors, and inflation. Does that make sense, guys? Now, let me ask you a question. Do you ever say to yourself that I will invest later when I have more money to invest, or when I get past this particular crisis I'm going through, or when I get that pay raise, or when I get that job, or at some point in the future, I'm going to start investing? And if the answer is yes, guys, you are trapped on the poverty model. And you know what, guys? It's not your fault, because we were literally taught from a very, very early age to be on this model. Okay, there's another model. This is called the financial freedom model. Now, on this model, money is coming into your home from your job, but in this case, we come up with a spending plan and a plan to get rid of these debt collectors so they can no longer steal your magic seed to plant it in their garden. And you take that same money until you put it into an investment plan over here. And you put it into a growth oriented plan that goes up in value faster than the rate of inflation year after year after year. And so eventually what happens is this investment has grown so much, you then convert it to income producing investments. And now you have two sources of income. You have income from your job and you have income from your investments. And then you eventually get to the point where you no longer need your job because you have enough income from your investments. And you know what we call that, guys? We call that financial freedom. Now, this model will eventually lead to freedom. It doesn't matter if you make minimum wage or $1 million a year. This model, if you're handling your finances under this model, it will eventually lead to freedom. Now, here's the bad news, guys. Only 3% of the population are on this model right here. 97% of the population, there's been a statistic I heard over and over again, 97% of the population is going to retire either dead or dead broke. And only 3%, I call them the elite 3%, are on this model. So when this webinar is complete, we're going to share with you how to go from the poverty model to the financial freedom model. Does that make sense, guys? All right. Are you guys getting this? All right, great. All right. Now consider this case study. This is a demonstration of this. Let's say you have $16,500 in credit card debt and your average interest rate is 23%. And you're just making minimum monthly payments of $330 per month. And guys, credit card companies love for you to be in this position. They love it. Why do they love it? Because that 23% is compound interest that's going into their garden, making them rich. Now, by the time you pay off this credit card, it would take you over 30 years to get free of your debt. And during that time, you will pay over $98,000 in interest alone. And by the time you paid all this off, guys, it's whatever you bought in the first place is probably completely worthless at this point. It probably has very little value at all. Now, consider this. If you took that same $330 and instead of paying off credit card debt, let's say you put it into a mutual fund that was giving you a 12% compounded rate of return. Over that same 30-year period of time, your money would have grown to $1.1 million. If you were able to invest it into an investment that would give you, let's say, a 15% compounded rate of return, which, by the way, I'm going to share with you exactly how I can do that in just a few minutes. But if you would invest that $330 into an investment that can give you a 15% compounded rate of return, you would have a personal fortune of $2.3 million. So here's the critical point, guys. It's over $1 million difference in your net worth. And in each case, you're spending the exact same amount of money. You're spending the same amount of money. but here's what he meant. He who earns compound interest, he who understands compound interest earns it, and he who doesn't pays it. Let me tell you a secret. Compound interest is going to have a profound effect on your life one way or the other. It's either going to make you rich or it's going to make you poor. There's no in between. And that's what Albert Einstein was talking about during this quote. Does that make sense, guys? All right. The second key to planting that seed in your garden is you have to escape the fear trap. And why do we fear? Because it's the great unknown. Remember, I talked about earlier, I feared going forward because I didn't know what I was doing. So, what is the answer? And first off, let me tell you the problem with the fear trap. It causes us to do the most dangerous thing of all, and that is to do nothing at all. Why is that dangerous? I talked about it earlier. Because inflation is robbing you of your wealth. Inflation, things are going up in price. And if your money is staying the same, your spending power is reducing day after day after day, which means your wealth is going down. So, guys, here's the truth. If you're not moving forward, getting wealthier and wealthier every day, you're going backwards every day. You're not staying the same. You're either going forwards or you're going backwards. So there are two keys to escaping the fear trap. The first key is financial education, so that investing is no longer the great unknown. And the next key is to have a financial plan so that you would have the confidence to go out and get started. Does that make sense, guys? All right. The third key to planting that magic seed is you want to have a system for finding and evaluating investments that have long and proven track records of generating compound interest. So this takes us back to Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett has consistently, over the decades, been able to get a 15 to 20% compounded rate of return. Now, it's important to point out, he didn't do it because he was lucky. He didn't do it because he has ESP. He was able to do that because he has a system. That system was taught to him by his mentor named Benjamin Graham, taught him this system. And he has since taught that system to others. That system is now public, and they have entire courses on this system that Warren Buffett uses. Would you like to know the system that Warren Buffett uses to consistently make 15 to 20% compounded rate of return year after year? Here we go. In order to understand the system, first we have to understand some principles that Warren Buffett goes by when he's investing. Principle number one, the stock market is irrational and unpredictable over the short term. It is moved by fear and greed. You probably see this all the time on the news. Something happens out there and investors get spooked and the market goes down because everybody's scared. Or something happens out there and people think they can make a fast buck and the market goes up, because of greed. So the market over the short term is ruled by fear and greed. But here's the thing that Warren Buffett understands as well. The stock market is rational and predictable over the long term. It is ruled by corporate profits. If corporate profits are constantly going up, the stock prices are going to follow the corporate profits and go up as well. And here's the next principle. If you can project a corporation's future profits, you can accurately project the company's future stock price. Remember, because it follows profits. How can you predict the corporation stock price? By predicting their profits. We're going to talk to you just how he does that in just a moment. Here's another principle. The price that you buy a stock will determine your compounded rate of return when you sell your stock. Obviously, the lower you buy your stock, the more compounded rate of return you're going to receive when you sell your stock. So with that being said, let's talk about Warren Buffett's system. First, he looks for a company that he says has a business moat. Now, what does he mean by that? Well, and understand a business moat. I want you to picture a castle that has a moat around it with crocodiles and snakes and alligators in this water, and it's in there. That moat is to protect the castle. If you wanted to get to that castle, you got to go through those crocodiles. You got to go through the snakes and the alligators and so forth. That's what he means by a moat. That moat's protecting a castle. Well, there are actually businesses that have what they call a business moat. In other words, they have a competitive advantage or a monopoly that is so great. That monopoly is preventing other businesses from even competing with them effectively because of this business moat, this monopoly that they have. Let me give you an example. Let's say, for example, you and I came up with a cure for cancer, right? And we got a patent. So now we're the only ones that can sell this cure for cancer, right? And so now, if you want to get this cure, you have to come to us. And other businesses cannot even compete with us because they don't have a patent, right? And what would that mean for us? Consistent profits year after year after year, predictable profits because we have this patent that people can't even compete with us, and we have this market, right? So we're going to have predictable profits, which means the price of the stock is going to predictably go up over time. Does that make sense, guys? So he finds a business that has a business moat, and then he takes that business to a step-by-step checklist to confirm that that company is in fact generating predictable profits. He then determines the price that he wants to pay for that stock that will give him a 15 or 20% to 15 to 20% compounded rate of return when he sells. And then he puts that company on a watch list. In other words, if he finds a company that has a business moat that's generating predictable profits, maybe the price is too high right now for him to buy, so he'll put it on the watch list and he just waits. And he waits for the stock market, which is governed by fear and greed. He waits for the stock market to fall, and then when that stock price goes down, he swoops in and he buys that stock at a discount. And now he has this great stock at a discount. That's exactly what happened with Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola had a moat, was called a brand name moat. They're global. Other companies cannot even compete with them, and they were making profits year after year. And Warren Buffett put this company on a watch list, and then the stock market had a dramatic downturn, and people were afraid. They were scared. Get me out of the market, right? And Coke's stock price went down through no fault of their own because they were making crazy profits. And when that happened, Warren Buffett just swooped in and bought millions of shares of Coke. And as a result, he made millions and millions of dollars. Does that make sense, guys? And so to recap, to harness the magic of compound interest, you want to escape the debt trap by turning your debt into opportunity. You want to escape the fear trap by having financial education and strategies. And you want to have a system in order to find investments to have long and proven track records of generating compound interest. Secret number two, you can accelerate your wealth so that you can reach financial freedom at an early age in life or get caught up if you're behind if you can harness the power of safe leverage. Now, earlier we talked about the 40-year trap, how it's so easy to get fall behind. It's so hard to get caught up because there's only 24 hours in a day. You got this 50-50 partner named Uncle Sam. So Robert Kiyosaki, he's a very famous author. He wrote a series of books called Rich Dad, Poor Dad, right? If you haven't read any of those books, I highly recommend you read his books. They have great information in them. But one of my favorite books he wrote is called Retire Young and Retire Rich. And he said, if you want to escape the 40-year trap and you want to retire young and you retire rich, he said, you must harness the power of leverage. That's the key. Have to uh, harness the power of leverage. Leverage is kind of like a gas pedal. I want you to picture a very fast sports car, that fancy sports car. Leverage is kind of like the gas pedal. It'll accelerate that car to tremendous speeds. If you harness leverage, you can accomplish in 5 years what it will ordinarily take 10, 20, or even 30 years to accomplish. And it gets you to the magic of compound interest. Remember that magic part? It can get you to the magic of compound interest in a fraction of the time. Now, there are two kinds of leverage. There's risk leverage and safe leverage. Risk leverage is when you are taking a financial risk. Let me give you a demonstration. Let's say you had $20,000 to invest and you put it into a mutual fund. Now, in this case, this is where you're not using leverage. You just put in a mutual fund. If the fund goes up by 10%, you made $2,000 profit. Okay, this is when you're not using leverage. But now let's say you took that same $20,000 and you put it as a down payment on a property that's worth $200,000. So this is the leverage part. That $20,000, you're controlling an asset that's worth $200,000. Now let's say that the property were to go up by 10%. That's great. Your property is now worth $220,000. So you doubled your profit. You made an extra $20,000. However, the reason again that we call this risk leverage, because if that property were to go down by 10%, your property is now only worth $180,000. So you lost your original $20,000 investment. So have you ever heard the expression somebody's over leveraged? That means that they're taking on too much risk. And if things were to go south, they can be wiped out. And when you're over leveraged, what happens is banks will stop loaning you money because they're saying, no, we don't want to invest with you because you can be wiped out if the market goes south. Does that make sense, guys? Now, safe leverage is the leverage of production. This guy right here, his name is John Rockefeller. He was like the Warren Buffett of the early 20th century. And, when he spoke, people listened. And one of the things he said, the secret of his wealth was, he said, I would rather earn 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own. So what he was talking about was the leverage of production. And the leverage of production allows you to multiply yourself. So not only do you have your 24 hours, you have this guy's 24 hours, you have his 24 hours, and his 24 hours, and his 24 hours, and so on and so forth. And that allows you to achieve a tremendous amount of wealth in the same amount of time. Now, with safe leverage, you're not taking a financial risk. You're not going out, you're not getting loans, you're not paying mortgages, you're not paying insurance, you're not paying taxes, all the things that would usually be associated with financial risk. And this means that because you're not taking a risk, there are no limits to how much you can scale. You never have to worry about that so-called being over leveraged because the bigger you are, you're not taking on more risk. And that's an amazing position to be in. For example, let's say that you were able to receive $1,000 from 10 people's efforts. That would be 1,000 times 10, which equal $10,000. Now let's say you were able to receive $1,000 from 100 people's efforts. That'll be 1,000 times 100, which equals $100,000. Let's say you were able to receive $1,000 from 1,000 people's efforts. That would be 1,000 times 1,000, which will equal $1 million. Now, guys, again, the point is there is no limit to how much you can scale. And that's amazing. That makes sense, guys? Secret number 3. You can escape the 40-year trap and join the elite 3% who are achieving millionaire status if you have the right vehicle. I remember one time hearing Warren Buffett talk, and he was talking about one of his classmates. And he said that this classmate in college, when he was in college, he said this classmate was every bit as smart as Warren Buffett was, every bit as smart. This classmate had grades that are every bit as good as Warren Buffett's grades. He worked every bit as hard as Warren Buffett. They were basically equal on paper in basically all respects. But this classmate went on to have a career selling insurance. and he was able to make a good living, a modest living. He probably made somewhere between maybe 100, 150,000, maybe $200,000 selling insurance, where Warren Buffett went on to make billions of dollars. So what's the moral of the story? It's not so much how hard you work. It's not even so much how smart you are. It's the vehicle that counts. Some people, most people, their job is their vehicle. Some people's jobs will give them $40,000. Their vehicle will give them a $40,000 per year. Others, maybe 80,000 per year. Their vehicle, their particular career, their vehicle will give them 80,000, some 100,000, and so forth, right? But Warren Buffett, his vehicle, he was able to combine the magic of compound interest with the power of leverage. And he was able to make billions of dollars. That's the secret of his wealth, guys. He combined compound interest with the power of leverage and became one of the richest men on the planet. So you want a vehicle that will enable you to harness the magic of compound interest and the power of safe leverage. Does that make sense, guys? Are you getting it? I hope that's I hope that's really sinking in, because this is the key, guys. This is the key. All right. So just to recap, we talked about the amazing power of compound interest and how it's the great equalizer that you can become fabulously wealthy even if you don't have a high income. We talked about the power of safe leverage, how you can accelerate yourself to getting to the magic part of compound interest much, much sooner. We talked about the importance of having a vehicle that will enable you to combine the magic of compound interest with the power of safe leverage. And we talked about why a 9 to 5 job just won't get you there. So, with that being said, let me ask you a question. Do you believe that you can change your life and change your family's life for generations to come if you have a vehicle to harness the magic of compound interest and the power of safe leverage? If the answer is yes, I want you to type yes in the chat box if you agree that you can change your life with compound interest and safe leverage. All right, great. Now, let me ask you another question. Would you like me to help you implement a strategy that will help you to escape the debt trap, saving you years and years of burdensome payments and tens of thousands of dollars in unwanted debt payments? Would you like me to help you implement a strategy that will give you the confidence to escape the fear trap so that you can get started and get off that poverty model and put yourself on the wealth model? Would you like to have a plan, a step-by-step, easy-to-follow system for finding the absolute cream of the crop investments to harness the magic of compound interest? And would you like to have a vehicle to harness the power of safe leverage so that there are no limits to how much you can scale? I put together a very special offer to help you implement the ideals in this webinar, and it is a win-win for everybody's involved. So would it be okay if I take just a few minutes to go over this offer to help you implement the strategy? Would that be okay? Please type yes in the chat box if you would like for me to share this offer. If you don't want me to share, guys, I won't share it, but please, I'm going to get your permission in order to share this offer. All right, great. All right, great. Well, let's get started. Guys, I was left with two choices. The first choice is I can share what I shared thus far and part ways with you and then hope that on your own you can make a go of it and maybe be successful. Or I could take a more active role and responsibility for your success to create a situation where our relationship can evolve from a one and done type of deal to an ongoing, growing, and mutually rewarding relationship. One where I would do everything that I can do to make your success certain. So with that being said, I want to introduce the Wealth Builder System where you can eliminate debt and start building wealth. The Wealth Builder System is a comprehensive program that will help you escape the debt trap and start building wealth from the ground up. The Builder system consists of 10 video lessons. Now, the first lesson is going to be devoted to the magic of compound interest. We're going to talk about the three things that you must do to maximize the power of compound interest fully in your favor. So three things that, remember Theodore Johnson earlier, we talked about how he was able to amass his fortune by maximizing compound interest. We're going to tell you the three things that he did to maximize the power of compound interest. And when we finish this lesson, guys, you are going to be some of the most knowledgeable people on the planet about compound interest. And that's so exciting. That is so exciting because I know just how important that is. And lesson number 2 is called the millionaire mindset. Now, I'm going to tell you something that you may already suspect, and that is your mindset is far more important than what you have in your bank account. In other words, if you have a bunch of money in the bank account, but you have a poverty mindset, you're going to end up broke. On the other hand, if you have a millionaire mindset, even if you have an empty bank account, you're going to end up rich. Now, unfortunately, we were indoctrinated from a very early age to have a poverty mindset. So, in this lesson, you're going to learn the 4 core values that embody the millionaire mindset. We're going to teach you the mindset by showing you specific examples of what you can accomplish with compound interest. In lesson number 3, we're going to talk to you about how to solve the age-old problem of too much month and not enough paycheck. And we're going to share with you a spending plan that's going to position you to maximize the magic of compound interest. In lesson number 4, we're going to go over, this is one of my favorite lessons. It's called Turn Your Debt into Opportunity. And we're going to go over a step-by-step process called compounding power payments that will cut years, even decades of unwanted payments out of your life and save you thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars. So that lesson is a step-by-step lesson on exactly how to do that, to get out of debt in the quickest time possible. The next 6 lessons are the educational part of the course, and these lessons are going to give you that knowledge so that investing and building wealth is no longer the great unknown. But not only that, these lessons are going to give you a plan. They all build one upon another so that you will have a knowledge and a plan to give you the confidence to go forward. So the course comes with a workbook and, like I say, the video lessons. Now, these lessons have 2 objectives in mind. The first objective of the lesson is for it to be fun. It's not going to be a boring lecture on finances. This is going to be set up more like a podcast, and it's the feedback that we've consistently been getting is that the lessons are actually fun. And so that was very important to us to make it entertainment. The word I use is edutainment. The next objective of these lessons is to be convenient. We know that you're busy. We know that you have busy lives. So we did the hard work for you. All you have to do is listen to the lessons. You can watch the videos. You can sit down and watch if you like, along with the workbook. But if you're really busy, you can just listen to them as you go about your daily routine. You can listen to them while you're driving to work or while you're working out, whatever your daily routine is. And we included a legacy kit, which is like the ultimate cheat sheet because we took all the notes for you. We took all of the most pertinent and important notes so that you don't have to take notes. All you have to do is just review the legacy kit and it's done for you. Like I say, it's the ultimate time saver and cheat sheet. What's also good about the legacy kit is put together in the form of a syllabus. So if some later date you want to pass this on to your children or you want to pass this on to somebody else's very important life so they have this financial education, you got a turnkey full course that you can pass on so that your children can learn this at a very, very early age. Does that make sense, guys? I think that's so important. So important. Also, we've included two calculators. One of the calculators is the uh, debt calculator. We included that calculator so that you can see the years that you're going to cut off being in debt, and we're going to show you the tens of thousands of dollars that you'll be saving by going over the strategies in this program. The other calculator is the compound interest calculator, that you can see the amount of wealth that you're going to be building throughout your course of your life by using these strategies in this program. So to recap, you will spare yourself years, harmful and unwanted debt payments, saving you thousands and thousands of dollars. You're going to have great credit in the process because once you get out of debt, your credit goes up. And what does that do? It increases your purchasing power. You're going to go from the freedom to debt, which means higher net worth. And maybe most importantly, you're going to have money to invest for your financial freedom because you stopped the debt collectors from stealing your magic seed and taking it and planting it in their garden. And you're going to have a feeling of accomplishment and peace of mind knowing that you're moving forward to that elite 3% status. So, in the Investment Pro system, the Wealth Builder system, the master class is a $500 value. Next is the Investment Pro system. The Wealth Builder system is designed to free you from the poverty model by guiding you to escape the debt trap and the fear trap. You could then take that magic seed that was previously being planted in your debt collector's garden, thus making them rich. You can plant it in your garden, making yourself rich. The Investment Pro system would teach you how to plant that seed. The Investment Pro system is designed to put you on the financial freedom model by guiding you to finding the very best investments for generating compound interest. The Investment Pro system consists of 7 videos and a user-friendly checklist. Here's the videos, and here's the checklist. The Investment Pro system enables a layperson to get the same quality investments as a seasoned professional. And the reason why is using the same criteria. And so when I was telling you earlier, I got that certification to be a mutual fund specialist. I took that information and I broke it down into a very easy system. The system, the course does the work for you. All you have to do is just follow the checklist and it will do all the hard work for you. It is, again, it is the ultimate time saver, and it allow you to get the same quality. And not only that, guys, it is so user friendly that your high school child can use this system with ease. Your high school child can get the same quality of mutual funds as the professionals. And again, I think that is so exciting. So with the Investment Pro system, is you will be finding investments that have long and proven track records of having the highest returns with the least amount of risk. The funds that have the best management teams over the long term, and they have the lowest fees and expenses, saving you thousands and thousands of dollars, guys. That's, again, I was at risk of paying thousands of dollars of unnecessary fees to the mutual fund guy I was telling you about earlier at the financial planner. If you know, this right here can save you thousands and thousands of dollars in unwanted fees. Does that make sense, guys? All right. In other words, you will be finding the absolute cream of the crop investments. So to recap, you will be able to select the same quality mutual funds as the professionals with long and proven track records. You will be an informed client, and you can tailor your investments to your own personal tolerance for risk and financial goals. And your children at a very early age will be able to choose the top rated mutual funds in the entire industry. Why? Because the checklist will guide them and do the work for them. So what does it mean to you? It means that you will have an easy and convenient system that will enable you to harness the magic of compound interest, and you'll be able to live financially free. So how much other courses like this cost? Well, let me tell you, I spent thousands of dollars myself learning these methods, and your earning potential is unlimited. So the masterclass, Wealth Builder Masterclass, is a $500 value. The Investment Pro System is also a $500 value. The total value of this package is $1,000. So I came to this webinar today with the intent of going all in. So I want to make sure I give you everything that guarantees your success in getting out of debt and building your wealth. So on top of the exclusive discount that I'm about to offer you on this masterclass, I have decided to give you the entire Retire Young and Retire Rich bonus package. Now, this bonus package is exclusive to those who are watching this webinar and is only available for those who sign up on the link, on the special chat box link that you're going to see here in just a few moments. Now, I'll sell this stuff individually, but if you act now, I'll be giving you this entire bonus package for free. First, I'm going to throw in the vision mapping guide. Now, this vision mapping guide is absolutely one of the most powerful methods that I've ever learned for setting and achieving your life goals. Now, let me give credit where credit is due. I did not come up with this process. A guy by the name of Stephen K. Scott came up with the vision mapping guide, and I just used that process in my life to achieve goals that people just laughed at me when I told them what my goals are. I was able to achieve my goals by using this vision mapping process. And I've seen many people that I've mentored using the same process. A lot of them did not necessarily use this vision mapping guide because they didn't know about it, but I noticed that they used the same exact process in this vision mapping guide. So the retail value is $50. Next is the Midas Touch system. And the Midas Touch system are the exact details. Earlier, I gave you the principle of how Warren Buffett goes about finding his investments to give him a 15 to 20% compounded rate of return. Well, this course is the exact details, step by step, how he does that. So this course comes with 6 videos and the checklist. So it's going to show you how Warren Buffett goes about locating businesses that have moats. There are 4 kinds of business moats. You will learn exactly what they are and how to find them. Then you're going to learn Warren Buffett's exact step-by-step checklist he goes through to confirm that that business is generating predictable profits. You would then learn the Warren Buffett's method of finding how much he should buy a stock for that will give him his desired compounded return. And then you will also learn when to sell that stock to get that compounded rate of return. So the system, just like the masterclass system, it comes with videos and a step-by-step checklist. Again, the checklist is the ultimate cheat sheet because it will guide you step by step on how to use the system. So what does it mean to you? It means that you will have a system for finding the next millionaire maker. It will enable you to catch up if you're behind in your retirement savings. It will enable you to retire earlier because you're having higher rates of returns. And it will enable you to retire with a much bigger nest egg. So the Wealth Builder Masterclass, $500 value. The Investment Pro System, also $500 value. And the Midas Touch system, also a $500 value. So the total value of this package so far is $1,500. Now let me ask you a question. Do you want access to all of this knowledge, but you don't have a way to purchase it right now? If so, hold on. I have the perfect solution for you. And that is that lucrative profit sharing program that I was telling you about earlier. Now, again, I mentioned earlier my reason why I wanted to offer something tangible than something more tangible than mere heartfelt words of encouragement. My vision that I shared earlier is that we have the knowledge and the means to put the blueprint into action. So again, I know if I'm going to reach my vision, I need partners to help me get the word out. In order to get those partners, I need to present a strong win-win incentive that will be a blessing to all who are involved. Now, let me tell you this. You do not have to be a salesperson. That's my job. All I need you to do is refer people to the webinars, my sales webinar. That's it. And when you refer somebody to a webinar, and if a sale is made as a result of your referral, I will generously share the profits from that sale with you. So I will provide all the tools to make it easy and comfortable to refer people to webinars. So you don't even have to come up with the words. I'm going to provide everything that you need to easily and make it comfortable to refer people to the webinars. And you know what, guys? They're going to be thanking you in the process because I'm going to be offering them this profit share program as well. Okay, does that make sense? So I will generously be sharing the profits with you. So let me just give you some numbers to show you how this works. The system is a two-tiered system. This affiliate model was kind of popularized by Jeff Bezos with Amazon. He's one of the first people to really made this popular, and that allowed him to grow his company from a company with a funny name to literally one of the most richest companies on the entire planet. So tier number one, you will receive $125 for every direct sale. So if you refer somebody to the sales webinar and that person buys the course, you will receive $125 from the sale of that course. Tier number two, if that person who you referred, if they go out and they refer somebody to the webinar and a sale is made, that person, they're going to also receive $125. So they have the incentive, but you will receive $125 as well. This gives you the power of leverage, of safe leverage, of the leverage of production. Let me give you an example so you can know what I'm talking about. Let's say you refer 10 people who have that same mindset as you. You refer 10 people to the webinar, right? 10 people buy the course. You will receive 10 times $125. So you will receive $1,250 on your first tier. Now, if those 10 people, if they go out and they each refer 10 people, you will receive 100 times $125 on your second tier. That's the leverage part. 100 times $125 is $12,500. So when you convert, when you add the first tier to your second tier, the total is $13,750. Does that make sense, guys? That's the leverage of production. So let me give you just a little chart here to kind of show you how it looks. Again, if you refer 10 people and they referred just 10 people each, we talked about that, $13,750. If you referred 50 people to the webinar, you will receive $6,250 on your first tier, but you will receive 500 times $125 for a total of $62,500. And when we add the first and the second tier together, that's going to be $68,750. If you were to go out and refer 100 people to the webinar, that would be $12,500. That's 100 times $125 for $12,500. But then you will receive 1,000 times $125. So that would be $125,000. When you add the two tiers together, that's $137,500. Does that make sense, guys? That's the power of leverage. It's the accelerator, right? So the beautiful thing is we talked about safe leverage. There's no limit to how much you can scale. And remember, guys, I'm going to be giving all those people who you referred, if they buy the course, I'm going to be giving them the same incentive. I'm going to be sharing the same profit sharing program as you. So they will go out and do the exact same thing. And so if you were to find 100 people who also found 100 people, that would be $1,250,000 to you. In other words, there are no limits to how much you can scale. It's completely up to you. Okay. We're going to include a lesson. It's called the snowball effect. We're going to include this lesson, which is going to teach you how to generate a 6 or 7 figure income by using this very same profit sharing program and taking advantage of a gold mine that you have at your disposal that you may not be aware of. This is, in this day and age, this is an amazing time to be able to do this with the social media and social networks as they are. You have a gold mine right at your fingertips, and the snowball effect is going to teach you how to build a significant income with the snowball effect. Does that make sense, guys? Does that sound good? All right. If you take the funds from the profit sharing program and you invest using the investment pro system, or you invest using the MyTouch system, you can greatly accelerate the compounding process so that you can get to the magic of compound interest much, much sooner. So what does this mean to you? It means that you will be able to accelerate your debt reduction process because now you have the profit sharing to help you do that. And you will have the means. Isn't that important, guys? Isn't that amazing? You will have the means. And if you're behind in retirement savings, you can get caught up. You have a vehicle. You have a vehicle that's going to help you catch up. So what this really means to you is you have everything that you need to escape the 40-year trap and join the elite 3%. And you'll be able to accomplish in 5 years what it previously would have taken 10, 20, or even 30 years to accomplish. So the Wealth Builder Masterclass is a $500 value. The Investment Pro system also a $500 value. Total retail value is $1,000. We talked about the vision mapping guide, which is a $50 value. The MyTouch system, which is also a $500 value. And the affiliate program is easily worth $3,500. So the total value of the bonuses is $4,050. And these bonuses are going to be coming to you included today if you join today, if you get started today, if you're willing to step up and take action. The total value of this entire package is $5,050. Now, guys, I am not going to charge you $5,050. But let me ask you a question. If all this program did was to get you out of debt, get those student loans off your shoulders, get you out of credit card debt, saving you $10, $20, $30,000 even more, would it be worth it to you? Would it be worth it? I think the answer is absolutely yes. If all this program did is get you caught up, if you're behind in your retirement savings, so you can sleep comfortably knowing that you're not heading for a future where you don't have enough savings to get you through, or if it puts you in a position where you can retire early in life, would it be worth it? Would it be worth that to you? In my opinion, I would say the answer again is a no-brainer, yes. If all this program did was to generate for you 10, 20, or even $30,000 in profit, that's all it did, would this program be worth $5,000? And again, I think it's a no-brainer. Absolutely yes. Absolutely. But as I said, I'm not going to charge $5,050. I'm not going to charge $997, which is the normal price. I'm going to charge for this webinar today. If you step up today, I'm going to discount this to $497. I'm going to try to make this as easy to own as humanly possible. Why? Because I want people to help me get the word out about this program. So I'm going to make it super easy for you to own this. First, I'm going to offer you a ironclad, unconditional guarantee. And here it is. We are so confident that this program will be an absolute game changer in your life that we're going to offer you a 14-day, 100% money back guarantee. So if after 14 days you are not completely satisfied with the ease and the quality of this course, or if you do not find that the debt reduction strategies alone will pay for this course at least 10 times over, or if after reviewing the wealth building secrets that you're not completely satisfied that they will flood your retirement savings account with thousands of dollars that you would not have ordinarily otherwise received apart from using our system, simply return it for a full, no fuss, no questions asked, 100% refund. In other words, guys, there is absolutely no risk for you to step forward and take a look. Take a look to see how you like it. If you don't like it, no hard feelings. We can still be friends. There's no hard feelings whatsoever. All you have to do is say, "Hey, it's not for me," and then you'll get 100% refund, no questions asked. So that means no risk. And I wanted to make it super easy, a no-brainer. You can get instant access by going to www.gsiwealth.com. But I'm going to make it even easier. I'm going to make it even easier for you to earn this program. If you buy this program through PayPal, they have a special program that if you're in the US and you qualify, they have a program where you can have 6 months. You can get instant access today. You can get the full course today for you to review, but they have a 6 month interest-free payment. So you don't have to pay a dime for 6 months, not a single dime, right? So what you can do, this opens up some very interesting possibilities. One thing you can do is you can pay in 6 monthly installments of $82.83, which comes out to about $2.76 per day, basically the price of a small cup of coffee, right? Once again, you can get instant access at gsiwealth.com. Or here's another option, guys. You have 6 months to refer just 4 people to the webinar. If you refer 4 people to this webinar and they buy the course, you've now gotten this whole program at no cost to you. So just find 4 people, 4 close friends, 4 relatives that can use this. And remember, this is a win-win situation because you're helping them in their life. And so if you do that, you now have 4 sub-affiliates. So not only did you get the program at no cost to you, you have 4 sub-affiliates, and I'm going to be giving them the same incentive to go out and find 4 people as well. And if they do, you will receive, if they refer 4 people each, you will receive a $2,000 check to you. In other words, I will be paying you to get this knowledge, to get this information. And it's the ultimate win-win situation. Everybody who participates wins. So what does this mean to you? It means you have a system and a strategy to harness the magical compound interest in your favor. You have the power of the leverage of production, which can accelerate you to the magic. And you have an unconditional guarantee. In other words, guys, if you're using the PayPal program, you buy the course and you look at it, you don't like it, just tell me so, no hard feelings. And you didn't pay any money in the first place. You did not pay a single dime. So there's absolutely no risk. And you have the option that you can pay in an easy installments over a 6 month period. What this really means to you is that you can change the financial trajectory of your life and your family's life forever. Again, you can get instant access at www.gsiwealth.com. So, guys, when I put this program together, I had 2 choices. One choice was I can charge as little as possible. But the problem is, if I did that, there would be no room to give you the profit sharing program. And if you didn't have the profit sharing program, you may be in a position where you have the knowledge, but you don't have the means. Does that make sense, guys? Or I can charge just a little bit more and give you a powerful and lucrative profit sharing program to give you the means, the knowledge, and the means. That's what my vision is, the knowledge and the means. So again, you can go to www.gsiwealth.com. Now, the way I see it, you have two choices. Choice number one, you can do nothing. But if you do nothing, nothing changes. And guys, if you're on that poverty model, you're going to remain on that poverty model. And you're going to remain, in effect, a financial slave in the rat race, just working to make your bill collectors wealthy instead of yourself. Or you can step up to the plate and you can get started today and start joining the elite 3%. Jamie, he stepped up to the plate and he became a millionaire by following the blueprint that I just shared with you today. Here's somebody else that stepped up to the plate. Her name is Ada Banky. And I want to just read to you a portion of her recommendation or her endorsement of me. I could not include the entire thing, so I just set up a portion. Right now, she is a pilot for the world's largest airline. And here's what she had to say. When I met Captain Joel in 2020 during one of my most challenging times in my life, Captain Joel made me realize that I am a victor and not a victim. I refer to Captain Joel as my mentor, father figure, friend, confidant, and voice of reason. He will always be a part of my successful journey. And again, she's a pilot for the world's largest airline, and she's doing some amazing things. Even outside of the airline industry, she's doing some truly amazing things. Here's somebody else who stepped up to the plate. His name is Napoleon, and right, that's him posing next to. He's just when you took this picture, he was in his training to become a captain on the Boeing 757 aircraft. He was a wide body captain. And here's what he had to say. Captain Joel embodied what mentorship is all about because it is obvious where his support comes from, his heart. Captain Gudger unequivocally has his fingerprints behind my success. My family and I thank you for everything, Napoleon. He stepped up to the plate. And guys, I am looking for some leaders to step up to the plate right now. And if you step up to the plate, I am willing to invest my precious time. And I don't want to sound mean here, guys, but it's just a reality. I'm a very, very busy man, and I only devote my time to people who are willing to step up because my time is just too precious. So if that's not you, if you're not the person who wants to step up, if you're not that leader, if you don't have that vision for your life, you know what? That's fine. No hard feelings. No hard feelings whatsoever. But again, I only invest my time in people who are leaders who are willing to step up. And if you step up, I'm going to invest my entire program into you. I'm going to invest my program. I'm going to invest my marketing funnel. I'm going to invest my profit sharing program and to dedicate to help you reach that amazing success. So again, guys, when this webinar is over, the offers, this whole package is off the table. And again, I don't want to sound mean, but I got to devote my time to the people who do step up. Does that make sense? So while this webinar is available, go to get instant access at www.gsiwealth.com. All right. So as I end this webinar, what I want to do is take a brief moment to share with you, just kind of walk you through how to sign up for this program. And I should have had this prearranged here, so just bear with me here momentarily. I'm going to go to the website here. I apologize for not having this already set up, but I'm going to just go to the website so that you can see what you will see when you go to get the instant access. Okay. Oh, wait, typed it in wrong. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. Bear with me. www.gsiwealth.com. GSIwealth.com. Okay, here we go. This is what you will see when you go to get instant access. When you click on instant access here, click there. What you're going to see is a sign up. It's a two-step sign up. Step one is to sign up for the affiliate program, that profit sharing program I was talking to you about. So I want you to sign up so you can start getting you paid as soon as we possibly can. So you click on get instant access, and this whole page right here is kind of explaining the program. I've already kind of talked to you about that, so you can click on register. And again, it's talking some more about the program. We've already covered that. Feel free to read through it, but it's basically what we talked about in this webinar. And then you want to set the terms and conditions and just click on request affiliation. Now you see where it says dashboard here, guys. You're not going to see that. The reason I have that because I already signed up. So what you're going to do is you're going to sign where it says not affiliate yet. Click on register. And again, this right here, this email says you already registered. That won't come up. The only reason that's coming up now is because I'm already registered. So all you got to do, guys, is just fill in this form. It's a very simple form. You know, your full name, email address, date of birth, mobile phone number, zip code, address, and then later on it's going to ask you to, you know, create a password, and then you're going to put the, you know, confirm your password. And this is going to put here, it says payment type. Just put PayPal here. That's how you're going to be paid. Okay. And then click on confirm. Now, the reason why these boxes all show up is because I didn't fill anything out. But when you get to this point, guys, if you're on a laptop computer, all you have to do is go back to the last tab, click there, or if you're on your phone, or I'm not sure how iPads work because I'm not very familiar with iPads, but I think you just go to the back button. What it does is take you back to your original page, but notice what happens now. It says step 2, purchase the course. You just click on purchase the course, and you click over here where it says continue. Oh, by the way, let me see here. I'll go back in just a moment. You just fill out the form. You have the password already set up, and notice here in the corner it has PayPal. If you pay there, you make that one-time payment, or you can say pay later. All right, and that's the program I was telling you about, where you get instant access, and you don't have to pay anything for 6 months. So that's basically it, guys. If you have any problems or any issues, which let me go back here real quick, see if I can find. I meant to show you when you go to the website, you will see my email address and my phone number on the website. I'm sorry, I should have gave it to you when I saw it before, but let me give it to you now. It's just go to WWSI and just find, you'll click in the bottom there. It'll give you my email, what is GSIwealth.com. Joel@gsiprogram.com. Sorry about that. Joel@gsiprogram.com. And my phone number is 510-823-9059. And again, guys, I should have showed that to you when we were there on the website, but you can definitely find my information on the website if you have any questions whatsoever. Well, that's it, guys. It was a pleasure talking to you. For those of you who are still here, again, I have the utmost admiration and respect for you. I'm looking forward to working with you. I can't wait to meet you, and I can't wait to do great things with you. So with that, guys, again, go there right now while you can, because later on that offer, all that package is no going to be there. So go there now and take advantage of it. And I'm looking forward to meeting with you and getting started and doing great things. All right, take care.